In today's Anime Defenders video, I'll be doing a tier list for all the new units, so if you do decide to play this update, which, that's up to you. But I pretty much will be doing a tier list for all the new units, except from 2, because for some reason this game cannot put the new mythic units in the banner. But I'm still going to do a tier list, so if you want to know what's in the tier list, watch the entire video. I'll be explaining every single unit, most of the units, and if you're new to the game and you don't know what to do, then I'll be telling you what you need to summon for, what to grind for, and stuff like that. But yeah. Before today's video starts, make sure to subscribe to the channel for the Rexon luck if you do decide to play this update, and also join my Discord server down below to be in future videos. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Now the first tier I just want to get straight out of the way is the Rimuru LB tier. So pretty much, if you have this unit, it's pretty good, it's nothing too insane, and it's going to be hard to train for and hard to obtain since it's a leaderboard unit. So I just want to get this unit out of the way, and I wouldn't stress about this unit, especially if you're new to the game. So this is the supports tier, and it's not really meta supports, and most of these units, they're pretty much, all of them have a better version that is a high rarity. So I wouldn't stress about these units, but if you first start in the game, I would definitely recommend you get all of these units, to be fair, and especially Bulma. The rest you don't really have to get, because you can get better versions that aren't too much high rarity. But I do recommend you get Bulma, very easy to obtain, and will help you out throughout the whole of the game, especially in the early game. So I highly do recommend you get Bulma, and Bulma is the epic unit, the first unit, so definitely summon for her if you see in the banner, especially when you're new to the game, because she is a farm unit, and I don't know if I mentioned that, but most of you guys probably already know that, but she gives you money every wave. Now, if you're trying to be a leaderboard player, trying to be the best player in the game, trying to be as good as you possibly can in the game, you should get every single unit in meta support. And the 2 new units that are in meta support, actually 3, is going to be Pink Demon Witch, who's going to be extremely meta for the new Hall of Mirrors game mode, because the normal farms aren't really that effective, but she actually is probably the most effective farm, and she does something where she takes their souls with any enemy in her range, and she got a decent amount of range, and it's for AoE, and you get a lot of extra money. So definitely just get every single unit in meta support. But the units I recommend most, or if I had to give an order for what units you should get, I definitely recommend get Ping Rockstar first, because she's one of the best farms in the game, and plus she does buff, and she's only a legendary unit, so pretty much every single up to her, so definitely get her. Then the second unit I'd probably get is Itadori. He's a legendary, and he makes the enemies take less damage. Take more damage, so your units do more damage towards enemies. Then the third one I'd probably get is Katakuri, because he's a slow, and you can pretty much just buy it in the trading hub for like 7k gems. So that's the third one. Then I'd probably get the guy in the red hair, because he's buff stacks, so you can make it so your units almost crit every single time. Then I would get either the pink demon one or the Legion veteran one. That one is really mad. The Legion veteran gives more range, and it's pretty good, just decent damage, so it's not too bad. Then I get the pink demon one. But yeah, that's the order I recommend you get the units in if you're new to the game. If you're not new to the game, just look at that order and check what you do and you don't have. But you pretty much need all of these, especially if you want to go for leaderboard, you want to be the best player in the game, whatever. Now, I highly recommend you do not summon for any units in this tier, but if you do, then these are pretty much the rankings for these tiers, and you might just get them on accident, like pretend you're summoning for Pink Rockstar, but for some reason the mythical is Esper, but you still summon just so you can get the farm, and somehow you managed to get Esper, then there you go. So these units are pretty good. Sharpshooter is the highest in B tier because it's a hill, and a hill does more damage, like a multiplier. I think it's like 2 times or something, or 1.5 times to flying enemies, more damage. Esper is a hybrid, that's why it's so high, and King and Thunder Goge lower. But realistically, the order doesn't matter too much in B tier. Why? Because pretty much they're mostly all dookie anyways, so you shouldn't really care either way, if I'm being completely honest. So, but just don't summon for these guys. If you get them, you get them. It is what it is, but don't focus on them too much. Now we've got A tier. Now A tier, the same thing applies, but they're just not as bad, and you might have had them from earlier on, maybe early on in the game. If you're not new to the game, you probably have some of these units, and they're just pretty good. They're not as good as the units that are must have or S tier, but they're still pretty good units, and you might have had them if you started the game earlier on, you took a break, or maybe you just don't grind the game as much, and you might still have these units. You still might use these units, but they can't keep up with the current meta today. They're still pretty good, but if you see them in banner, you have gems, you're thinking about who to summon for, not these units, and you don't want to trade for these units. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about A tier, man. Not much. Okay, so now we have S tier. Now S tier is where it gets interesting. So I haven't really added any units to S tier. Now the only thing that people might argue about is, oh, but Hikari should be higher. No, Flame Dragon is better than Hikari. Why? Because you can place, if you get Requiem on him, he's definitely better, but he's already better alone because of his burn, his damage over time. If you guess any leaderboard player, they will say Flame Dragon is better than Hikari, and most good players. But the average player thinks Hikari is a secret, he has to be better. He's not. Same goes with Bear King and his bleed. So Hikari is actually not that good. Don't get me wrong, he is good, and if you get him, that's cool, but he's probably the worst secret in the game, and you don't really want to be going for Hikari. There's a reason why it doesn't have much value. There's a reason why no leaderboard players really use him for leaderboard runs, and yeah, it's just not all that. Maybe you could put Hikari a little bit higher, but trust me, he's not as good as you think he is. But yeah, Bear King, on the other hand, is definitely a must-have raid unit. So if you see him and you want to grind raids, definitely get Bear King. He's a very, very good unit. But it's just not on the level of the units that are going to be in must-have. But yeah, no units added to this tier. I just wanted to mention Hakari because some people that may not be as good as the game will think that Hakari should be higher on the tier list when genuinely he just isn't. And if you check the DPS of the 2 units above him, you'll see that they are higher. If you do the maths, if you try to experiment, because thing is, he's just not all that, man. I'm sorry. He's just not all that. Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I know some people try to argue about it, so I'm just saying. Lastly, for anyone that maybe is trying to be the best player in the game, trying to be insane, trying to be top of the leaderboard, trying to get pro at the game. I'm trying to get sick of this game, whatever. These are the units. Now, you're probably thinking, why is that? Now, you probably already understand why Dragon is at the top. I'll explain a little bit, but you're probably wondering, why is that girl there from the new update? Now, the reason she is there is because her ability makes her do 10 times her actual damage. So imagine, I'm pretty sure she does 90k damage. So let's say she does do 90k damage. I'm pretty sure she does. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if that's with Almighty or not. I don't think it is. But if it is, then it doesn't really matter either way. It's still broken. But 90k damage, you use her ability, she does 900k. And you can use her ability every 50 seconds. And not only that, she does the new summoners that attack enemies from far range. Instead of running into them with her health, attacks them from far range. So she's actually very, very good. But at the same time, she's very, very hard to obtain. So I do want you to keep that in mind. It's probably harder to obtain than the banner secrets. I'm just letting you know that now. Obviously, then we got Sung Ji-woo. Sung Ji-woo is actually better than Akari, which some people don't know, or some people do know, because overall he's better, and he's just overall better in most stages, and his summoners do come in clutch, especially with the new game mode, but just overall. Then we got Igris. Now, Igris is still so high because of the fact that his debuff is so good, and it's still one of the best debuffs in the game. He makes the enemies take less damage, more damage. More damage. Makes enemies take more damage, just like Itadori. Stacks with the Itadori and does more than Itadori. So, and he's also full AoE and does a lot of damage at the same time. So he's very, very good unit. We got Demon King, who pretty much does Gojo. He does the same as Gojo, but just worse. He does slow, but worse AoE, worse damage. But he's in the standard band at the same time, so he should be worse, if I'm being honest. So Demon King's like a worse version of Gojo in every single aspect. But you don't need Almighty on him, which is quite good. You only need Requiem because he's a 4 placement. So yeah, that's pretty much Demon King. Then we got Gojo. Gojo's a full AoE slow, massive range, made every single game on the game, especially the new game mode. He's very, very mad, and he does quite a lot of damage, and he has massive range, loads of damage, full AoE, slow, can't really complain. Then, now, this is where it gets interesting. The debate between Shadow Dragon and Gojo is quite interesting. I know I'm trying to talk fast, because I need to get this video out fast, so just bear with me. Shadow Dragon and Gojo, it's like Shadow Dragon, his buffs make compensates for his damage. Now his damage is worse than Gojo's, but he's still full AoE. He buffs all the units in his range and decreases the SPA. Decreases the SPA by 15%, increases the range by 25%. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know I rushed it so fast, but I'm sorry I'm talking so fast. I need to rush this video. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna hit 50,000 subscribers this year. From the Rexon, subscribe. And yeah, that's the tier list. I know the update's dookie. I'm sorry. Peace.